I'm going to do a reading. I haven't done one for a few weeks because I've been going through my own sort of sense of shifting and transformation over the last few weeks, a few months, and I sort of I wanted to do one today just around things like I talk about the universal laws a lot of the time, and sort of like universal law of like oneness is everywhere. It's this constant flow of the universe, this constant flow of energy that's coming into us, and it's connects to our infinite selves, our higher selves. It connects us through intuition, and it's sort of like just I want to discuss a little bit about sort of and sort of like the universal law of divine creation that within every moment this divine energy, this divine creative energy is within you, it's around you, and at any moment you can sort of align with that, you can connect with it, to start to create and manifest and shift your own reality and shift your own vibration. Another thing I wanted to talk about is universal. When I'm talking about the universal law of oneness, I'm talking about vibration and frequency, and the fact that it's everywhere. Your intuition is always at play, and your higher self is always trying to connect and trying to align with you to start to sort of like bring in information, insight, wisdom, so you can start to align with your life purpose. Each soul that comes down to this earth comes down with a purpose, and it's like a collective purpose. It's not necessarily a singular purpose, because when you start looking about the the universal law of divine oneness, or the universal law of oneness, it's about all things are interconnected. Everything is connected and aligned. Nothing is separate. So as souls, we come down here with a purpose, and our purpose is connected to this sort of infinite, or this collective purpose, where all souls are working together to shift and align, one, your own reality, but two, to shift and align the frequency, and bring new frequencies and vibrations to this reality, which is this planet Earth. Like today, I went to like a mind, body, and spirit event today, and I sort of I found this crystal today, which is a beautiful piece of like carnelian, and I was just drawn to it, and I was just drawn to the colours and the shape. But it's sort of like when I start sort of like connecting to the sort of the crystal and the shape, I start to connect to it as like a flame, which is symbolic of the source energy and the source vibration again. And it's like what I'm trying to say is that's intuition, that's sort of like your higher self that's connecting to you, is bringing you in some information, some insight. And a lot of the time what we do is we get these thoughts that come into our vibration or our frequency, which are from our higher selves, or from the universal source that's connecting with us and trying to align us. And what we do is a lot of the time we sort of like dismiss them. And, see, that to me is sort of like, that looks like a flame, and then when I start to connect to it, it starts connecting into these sacred flames, and it starts talking about source energy and source vibration, and it's telling me that it's connected, it's sort of aligning with me, and sort of like directing me to say that that source energy is around you now, it's with you, it's within you, and the crystal is symbolic of that. And crystals are symbolic as well, because they hold the universal the universal of the universal vibration of oneness, and they also sort of like they hold the universal law of divine creation in them as well. So crystals again are a tool to keep reminding us. If you look within your sort of reality, within your life, symbolic sort of information is coming in all the time. It's always flowing in, and again, this is the universal law of oneness flowing into your consciousness, into your reality, into your vibration, your frequency. And this is what this crystal is sort of telling me, is sort of like awakening again that vibration within me. And again, this connects to the universal law of correspondence. And the universal law of correspondence is a really important one, because it allows you to become conscious and live from source, because it tells you that within you is the source vibration, the source frequency, and the universal law of divine oneness, the universal law of divine creation is within you. And each and every one of us has divine energy within us that we can create and manifest from. And this is what the universal law of oneness tells us. And the universal law of oneness also works as a portal, as a vibration of frequency that connects us to the infinite dimensions and the infinite realms. Because the universal law of oneness is is um, is the vibration, the frequency that connects us to, you know, the ascended masters, the archangels, these other universal teachers and beings, and sort of like, so being aware of that and being consciously aware of that means that you can be open to receive these insights, this information, this ancient wisdom, this infinite wisdom from many different realities, teachers, guides. And so it's really important, like with the universal laws, that we start to sort of live and sort of integrate them within our vibration, because they bring us much wisdom, much teaching, and this is what I want to talk about a little bit today. That it's sort of like through insight, and sort of like intuition, and sort of being consciously open, you can start to receive these insights that are coming to you from your higher self. Your higher self directly sort of connects you to the divine, sort of the universal law of oneness. Um, Open up to your higher self is it's trying to stay within yourself, within your energy, your vibration, so you become open, that you create like a spaciousness within you. And this is what a lot of people try to do through meditation. When they go through meditation, they're creating spaciousness, but what they're really doing is they're opening up their energy field. They're opening up their energy field, and they're aligning with their higher selves and their infinite selves, so that their energy centers are starting to open up. And obviously we've all got our energy centers with the crown chakra, the third eye, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, the solar plexus, the sacral, the root, and obviously you've got other ones as well. You've got like the earth star that connects you to Mother Earth, which is like a higher chakra that many people have talked about as they start to discover more chakras. So it's like open up your energy field and open up your energy, and your vibration, your frequency, and again, this is where the universal law of correspondence comes in, because the universal law of correspondence is the awareness that you have source energy, that you're connected to the source, and the source is to me, when I say source, it is the universal law of oneness, the vibration that we're all connected, the many different universal teachers, guides, the infinite realms and dimensions that are, you know, vibrating and are all part of all creation. Um, they're connected. They're connected through the source energy, which is the source of all creation, of all reality. And when we connect to our higher selves, that allows us to open up. And this is why it's important to each day to clear and cleanse your energy centers, and to open up your energy and to be more conscious. And this is where, again, like I said, the universal law of correspondence comes in, because the universal law of correspondence allows you to live in your center and start to align and start to feel your vibration of your own source energy, your own source frequency. And this is really important, because source energy and source frequency also allows you then, when we talk about I talked about souls earlier, and I talked about this sense of source energy and source frequency and your purpose. Well, that is within your sort of like source energy, your source frequency. And the universal law of correspondence is where you can start to access that. And how do we access the universal law of correspondence? Well, we do that by taking time to sit within our own energy through meditation, through using crystals, through using visualization, starting to see that you actually are a vibration, you are a frequency, you are an energetic being that sort of vibrates on many different frequencies. And the universal law of correspondence teaches you the understanding that within your own source energy there's infinite vibrations and infinite frequencies, and you have the ability to create and manifest those different frequencies, or to create different realities within your physical reality, your physical body and your physical reality, which is the 3D reality. When I'm talking about the universal law of correspondence, I'm talking about the fifth dimensional plane of reality, which is the energetic reality. Although the 3D reality, which is the external, the physical world, is only a mirror of the 5D reality, which is the universal law of correspondence. And this is this is also part of what when ascended masters say self mastery. This is what I feel and sense when they talk about this. This is what it's about. It's understanding that, you know, as an energy, as a source vibration, and a source frequency, as a source being, which all of us are, because we're all part of the universal law of oneness. That, you know, through that source vibration and that source frequency within you, you can create and manifest. And that's self-mastery. That is what many of the sort of, I believe, the universal teachers are teaching us, that through consciousness, through vibration and frequency, you can create it's like self-mastery, that you start to create and manifest your own reality. And again, this is where the universal laws start to come in together. And again, with this universal law of oneness that I was talking about, the universal laws are connected, they're interlinked. One doesn't work without the other. They're all in perfect harmony, as with the universal law of oneness. Everything is in harmony within the source vibration, source frequency. Everything is in harmony. Everything is connected, and everything is in harmony. And this is where self-mastery comes within your own reality. Again, it's about creating harmony. And again, through the universal law of correspondence, which is your own inner mirror, so that whatever you create from within, then the external reality, the universe will only create a mirror of what you're creating from within your own vibration, your own source vibration, and your source frequency. And again, this is why it's important that you clear your own energy. And again, this connects to the universal law of attraction. The universal law of attraction is only working on the mirror of what your source vibration and frequency is creating. And again, the universal law of inspired action. Again, if you've opened your energy and you've opened up your source vibration to frequency, your source vibration and frequency to higher vibrations and frequencies, such as joy, love, happiness, peace, and again, when you're opening yourself up to those higher frequencies, and also you're creating that spaciousness within you through meditation, then that allows the guides and the angels to come into your consciousness, into your source vibration and frequency, because you're aligned with them, you're in harmony with them. So it's easier then for them to then connect with you and bring insight and wisdom into your consciousness, because you're already vibrating within your source vibration. And this is why it's really important that we start to sort of live within our own source energy and vibration. The universal law of inspired action is where you receive insight and wisdom and understanding to start to sort of direct your life to create a reality that's in line with your purpose, again, which is connected to your source vibration and frequency. And again, this is where the universal law of correspondence is so important, because it's the starting point. I feel, when I've been given insight and guidance, is the starting point. When you start to live within your own source vibration and frequency, then you start to open up your energies, which then allows all these other sort of universal laws start to come into play. But it all starts with your center, and this is why it's important that you work on yourself, this sense of self-mastery. And this is again working from that fifth dimensional plane, the energetic plane. Again, you've got the universal law of perpetual transmutation. Again, this works in line with your source vibration and your source frequency again, because it's looking at again, perpetual transmutation is dissolving, but it's also shifting consciousness. It's shifting sort of, and creating vibration and frequency to start to create like a new reality, and new vibrations and frequencies within your reality. And you can only do that when you are sort of taking time to work on yourself with self-mastery, and knowing that, when you work on like higher vibrations and frequencies like kindness, compassion, love, peace, harmony, all those kind of things, you know that you're more in line with your own source energy and vibration. And then this allows you then to start to create and manifest a more reality of peace and harmony within yourself, but also within your lives. And you start to then also know through the sense of this universal law of perpetual transmutation, that any moment, any time, you have an infinite space, an infinite vibration that's always available to you, that you can shift and change any circumstance, any reality, any situation. And everything is a choice. Even though things happen to us that we don't like, you still have that choice by what you create and manifest. And it allows you also to, through the universal law of perpetual transmutation, also allows you to shift situations as events that have had impact in your life. And they also this is a good way that it can help you to heal quicker as well. And healing quicker is sometimes being able to move through the situation, to dissolve it, release it. And this is what the perpetual transmutation allows you to do. It allows you to create the vibrations and the frequencies from your own center, from your your universal law of correspondence and your source energy, your source vibration, your source frequency, to create and manifest and release and shift things. So a lot of this sort of like I'm talking about creation, this universal law of divine creation. I'm saying that we've all have access to this. No, it's not something that is given to a few. Every single being that is on this planet, is on this plane of existence, has the ability to access that, because we're all energy. We're all souls, and we're all full of source energy, and we all have source vibration and source frequency within us, and each and every one of us has the ability to do that, because we're all the same. No one's greater. No one's more aligned than other people. It's just some people are more conscious of it, and when people become more conscious of it, they start to use these tools within their reality to shift and change their lives. And each and every one of us has the ability to do that, because we're all creators. We're all creators within this reality. You know, the universal laws are great. I sort of like I connect to them regularly within my own life, within my own reality, within my own consciousness, and I feel like this is sort of like ageless wisdom that each and every one of us can sort of like connect into. So the main sort of like topic of today was about the fact that, you know, within, like, through the universal law of oneness and the universal law of divine creation, and through the fact that we're all source energy, and that we've all got source vibration and source frequency within us, each and every one of us, you know, can create and manifest, and each and every one of us can sort of align with it, and can start to shift and change and raise our vibrations and frequencies within our own reality, to shift and change and harmonize our own lives. And each and every one of us has it. But also the universal law of oneness, again, it's open to all beings. Everyone, every being on this planet, every one of us on this planet are open to the universal law of oneness, because we're all part of it. We're all part of the same frequency. So it's about sort of like seeing the symbolic sort of information, and sort of like taking notice of those intuitive sort of like feelings that come into your energy, because that's that universal source of oneness connecting and aligning with you. That's you becoming aware of your source vibration, your source frequency, and allow it to start to grow and manifest, and allow yourself to start to sit in the energy and start to feel that vibration, that frequency. Take time meditating, use crystals, you know, go out into spaces that you feel aligned, you feel energized, you feel regenerated. Go out there and just create spaciousness, and start to see that, you know, take time to try and clear your energy, clear your mind, clear your energy every day, and sort of like sit within yourself. If you don't meditate, go out, like I said, go out in nature, go near a stream if you find like listening to the water calms you, and just see what comes in. Just see if you can start to feel your own vibration, because the more that you start to connect into like source energy and source frequency, the more that you feel that your source energy and vibration and frequencies, you start to feel it is the same as everything in all creation, which is everything, nature, everything. We're all vibrating as one. We're all in harmony. There's no disconnect, and it's sort of like, I just, you know, when I'm talking about this, I'm just trying to, you know, ascension is about the, you know, a collective consciousness, a collective awakening for us as beings. You know, we all come down to this plane of existence. You know, when we come from the other dimensions and realities, when we reincarnate, we come down with a purpose, and the purpose is to be consciously aware of our source energy and source vibration and source frequency, and also to work as a collective, because all the universal law of oneness and the universal law and source energy and source creation it works as a collective. You know, nothing's separate. Everything works in perfect union, perfect perfect harmony. There is no separation, and everything is connected. Everything works as one, and the universal law of oneness, and all creation is interconnected. It doesn't matter whether it's ascended masters or archangels or high universal teachers. We're all one vibration, one frequency. It's just some of us are in different forms. Some of us are physical form, and some of us are in more sort of like spiritual forms. So it's just know that you have these infinite guides and this infinite source energy of creation and vibrations and infinite wisdom that's around you, and it's waiting to connect with you. So it's taking time to try and open up your energy, open up your source vibration to start to become aligned and connected. Well, that's the insight for today. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. If there's any questions, just sort of pop them in as sort of like a comment box below. Subscribe if you want to. It'd be nice if you subscribe. Sorry, not if you want to. It'd be nice if you subscribe. Like and comment, share with anybody, and have a great day.